You want a Trek bar?
Yeah.
Which one? I've got lemon or raspberry. You want a lemon one? So this is what £78 and 42 pence could get you if you shopped in Sainsbury's. I don't know whether that's a lot or pretty average or not very much. I'd say that's probably pretty average. Generally speaking though, we'll do one big shop per week. We always have a shopping list though, so we decide exactly what we want to have. A lot of portion sizes in the supermarket though are for 4 people, so we'll pick 3 meals or 4 meals over the week and make each one last 2 days. So the recipes we chose for this week is to have a creamy tomato spinach gnocchi. That will do us for 2 days. So we already had some gnocchi in the cupboard, so I only needed to get one more, which I've got here. This is a spinach one. This is actually really good. And then we're also having the asparagus, sun-dried tomato and chicken spaghetti. So I got this plant-based chicken alternative. Becky doesn't eat meat, she's vegetarian, and this is actually really good, this stuff. I think it's made out of soy, I think. I'm not really too sure. A lot of the vegetarian meats are made out of soy. Yeah, soy protein. There we go. But yeah, this stuff is actually really good. We had one in the fridge already, so I've got one for one day, one for another day. So I also got some sun-dried tomatoes. These are quite expensive. These are actually £3.
£3?
Which is quite a lot of money for tomatoes.
That's why you're not allowed to do the shopping.
But Mediterranean things, sun-dried tomatoes, olives, like things like that, they're always like really expensive. I don't know why.
Not.
They are!
They are more expensive, but you can get them for cheaper than that.
Yeah, but if you get good quality sun-dried tomatoes, they're quite expensive.
They're just not allowed to do the shopping.
No, this is why Becky always does the shopping, because I always like buy like posh food and stuff. The final recipe we've got for this week is just a really basic stir fry. What we usually do is just get a packet of stir fry veg, and then we're having that with a Blue Dragon sweet chili and garlic stir fry sauce. This is the only Blue Dragon sauce that's gluten free. There was like 7 different sauces in there, and this is the only one that didn't have wheat in it. I checked all of them. I know. I wondered why you always get the sweet chili and garlic. I was like,
because there's no other option.
yeah, now I know. It's the only one we can have. A lot of the other stuff that we have is for lunches. We tend to just kind of like think of things we can have for lunch. I actually was thinking about what to have lunch in the shop, which is usually a bad idea because you end up buying stuff that you don't really need. But I didn't get too carried away with that. I decided just to get some bread, and then I got some tortellini as well, which I can have over 2 days, and then maybe have that with a salad or something. We tend to just buy quite a lot of vegetables, so we've got some tomatoes, we've got a cucumber, we've got spinach, avocados. One thing I will say is that if you buy good quality tomatoes, you won't regret it, because they taste a million times better than the cheap tomatoes. All these are grown in Worcestershire. That's just where we've been. All these tomatoes are grown in Worcestershire. We've just been there. What was that supposed to say? That's just where we've been.
No, that's just where we've been. It's wrong. That's where we've just been.
That's where we've just been. Okay. All these tomatoes are grown in Worcestershire. That's just where we've come from. No! That's where we've just been. That's where we've just been. Okay, alright. All these tomatoes are grown in Worcestershire. That's where we've just been, actually. That's quite interesting. So a couple of other things that we've got that we tend to get every single week, and is a bit of a staple, is Laughing Cow cheese. We normally just have that with crackers. I've got some normal cheese. Got some red Leicester. I was going to get a big block, but then I decided to get a small block. Stir-in sauces for pasta. Sometimes we have pasta for lunch. And then the same goes for this vegetarian kebab meat. This is really good. I've got two of these. I've got a Greek style one and a shawarma style one. I'm not too sure what the difference is. No, one's a shawarma. I think the different taste. I think this is more of an Indian flavour and this is a Greek flavour. So we got a lovely jar of peanut butter. I decided to get myself some soup because I wasn't too sure what else to have for lunch. I had some tortellini and then I got some bread and I was just like, I've got nothing to really have with the bread. So I was looking at soup for ages and I decided to get a minted pea and asparagus and then a parsnip, bacon and truffle flavoured soup. And the good thing is because these are tins, if I do decide not to have them, I can just have them next week. So always thinking ahead. We have been doing a lot of our food shopping online over the last couple of years, mainly because of the pandemic, but also because I don't generally like going to do the food shopping. Becky doesn't mind doing it so much, but I'm not a big fan of going out and doing it. I'm not very good at it either. I tend to just go up and down the aisles and I just get lost and I just don't really enjoy it and I'm not very good at it. But I guess the next challenge is trying to fit all of this food into our fridge and our cupboards. So I best get crack-a-lacking. So we've decided we're going to have the gnocchi with creamy tomato and spinach sauce for tea. Knock it off the list, mainly because the spinach tends to go off first. So if we get that out of the way, then that won't get mouldy and we won't have to buy any more. But this is quite a simple recipe. We've got our leftover gnocchi from before. We're going to use the mascarpone, chopped tomatoes, and some parmesan with the spinach. I think that's it. We weren't supposed to have basil, but we forgot to put basil on the list, so we haven't got any basil. Oh, I need to get some garlic. We've got garlic in the cupboard though. But that's it really. This is going to be nice and easy. Just basically chuck everything in a pan and stir in the mascarpone while the gnocchi's cooking. Yeah, that's well easy. So gnocchi cooks in exactly the same way that pasta does. So you just want to bring some water to the boil and then drop it in. Blob of oil. I always tend to do more garlic than the recipe calls for, just because I like garlic, but whatever works I suppose. Kind of feel like I'm doing Dave's dinners again. Get your garlic in there. We use a crusher just because it's easier than chopping it really. These are great, these things are. So you don't want the garlic to burn because then it tastes really nasty. So once it's kind of like softened up a little bit, in go the tomatoes. And it goes. So as soon as that starts floating, it's ready. So the gnocchi is actually floating. I'm just going to give it maybe a minute just to simmer away, just to make sure. I'm just going to let this tomato reduce down slightly because it's still a bit runny. And then we can chuck in some spinach. Spinach reduces to nothing when you cook with it, so make sure you put loads in there. That should do. Alright, we're getting somewhere. We'll chuck the gnocchi in. Lovely. Jubbly. Mix that in. Lovely. I never really know how much mascarpone to do, but I've got a pot for 2 days, so I guess we'll use half of it, which in this case equates to approximately 120 grams. And then we'll stir around. I've decided I'm going to serve this in a bowl rather than a plate because it's still a little bit runny. Don't spill everywhere. And then just to finish, a little bit of parmesan. And there you have it everybody. A delicious gnocchi tomato, not very much basil in it because we forgot to get it in the shopping, spinach dinner. You know, when you can cook things as easily as this, it amazes me how so many people just have takeaways. Like, this is so simple, probably took like 20 minutes. People pay a lot of money for this in a restaurant, but you could do it in your own kitchen in 20 minutes and it probably cost you, I don't know, not even a fiver I shouldn't think. Not even 20 minutes? No, probably quicker than that. Took me longer because I was filming it. But there you have it, guys. A little bit of an insight into how we do food shopping, what we eat during the week. We tend to keep recipes shortlisted on our phones, ones that we like anyway. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you did. We'll see you guys tomorrow. So until then, safe drive, stay alive, have a lovely day. Do not spill your custard, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.